Okay, so I have been watching all these different YouTubers and they were saying how to automatically set your stuff to relist after I think it's I think it's 30 days or after a listing ends or something. I can't remember what it is, but after a listing ends, you can have it set up so it automatically relists if it doesn't sell. But if it doesn't sell, so that was ringing in my head. And so I have a lot of books. So I was excited about selling antiquarian books because I ran across some on a whim, and not on a whim, but I just ran into some, and I was at a antique mall, and I found these Victor Hugo antique books, and it was Notre Dame and Toilers of the Sea, and I bought them for like $7.50, and then I ended up finding two more La Miserables, volume 1 and 2. So now I have a set, I have them appraised, and so I have them on my site. So I know that antiquarian books are going to take longer to sell because you are waiting for a specific buyer that wants to purchase those books. Now, I have had some I sold James Bond books, like a lot of 9 James Bond books out the gate. I mean, I think they were online the first week I posted them, and they were online for like 7 days. It's my little dog. This is Bella. Hi, honey. And they sold right away. But I have a lot of books. I haven't quite gotten the hang of or the eye for antique books and what's gonna sell for me. So I think that if I automatically relist the books that haven't sold, it may be a disservice to me in understanding what sells for me and what doesn't. And I think because a lot of my books I have been listing the singular book, just, I haven't been listing them in a lot or anything like that, especially the antiquarian books. So the vintage books, like the James Bond, I listed them all, and now I'm getting a little more understanding of, they're with a particular series. I just got some Star Trek books, and I see that they go with a particular series. So understanding how to list that. I heard a bookseller on eBay, on YouTube, say, she wasn't selling books because she was putting them with the wrong series and things like that. So I'm like, okay, so just be aware of that. All this stuff I'm taking in and I'm processing this information. I am a processor. I am a systematic person. I like to understand every step. I like to analyze myself as the process happens. If something doesn't sell, I want to understand why it didn't sell. I'm looking at my pictures. I know my first probably 20 pictures that I posted were not the best pictures. They weren't on a white background. They were on like a silver metallic background. Some of those sold. I mean, the James Bond book sold on a metallic background. I've had some other things sell on the metallic background, but I've created an all white background. So I've just been, getting them and taking pictures on that. But so once my single book listing ends, if it is not a true antiquarian book, and that's one of my other issues is that, you see a book, it says first edition on it, but it could be a book club first edition, or it could be the first edition of the 25th printing. That's not a first edition. So first edition is within the first year that it was printed, within the first batch in the first year of when it was printed. That's a true first edition. So it could be, let's say, if the very first time they ever printed the book, typically publishers are not going to print 35,000 books the very first time. They're going to print, I'm just going to pull a number out the air, like 1,500 books. They're going to print 1,500 books. That's probably high. So maybe 500 books for the very first time for this brand new book that this author has written. And after they see how those sell, then they're going to do another printing of maybe 1,500. So from 500 to 1,500 and on and on and on. But the first 500, those are the first edition. Those are first editions. It could be any of the five. It could be printing. It could be 499, but it's in that first batch. So I'm learning this as I go through it. So if I take my books off of auto listing, or even all of my stuff off of auto listing, I will be able to analyze why that book didn't sell. I'll also be able to put it in a lot of books. So I could sell it as a lot, and I can add other books so that I can sell it as a lot and be able to have it show up a different way, or just kind of get it out the door, because I don't want to continue to buy books that are not going to sell and they're not truly first editions. And I think, you could think about this for anything that you're selling. You could think about it for clothes, or for, all that other stuff. Like, I will only probably always sell vintage. If there's something that I sell on eBay that is not vintage, it's going to be something I'm trying to get out of my closet or something like that. And I had thought about only putting those things on Facebook Marketplace, just to keep it very separate and to keep my eBay store very, very focused and fine-tuned. But that's something that I thought about. I'm going to take my store off of auto listing so that I can go through and manually list it. Now, it's not something that I'll do all the time or forever, but I think in the very beginning, I'm really serious about building my eBay store and building it with really good, unique items. And for the first maybe 6 months, I really need to process everything. This is just the way that I do things. I really need to process the process and understand each step that I'm doing and how I can make it better. Now, the thing that I do have an eye for is unique decor. So as I'm learning about antique books and what sells, and I said I'm probably going to be the paperback queen, and have, you know, some antiquarian books that I find along the way, or some vintage Bibles or vintage Christian books or stuff like that. But the vintage paperback books, I like those because they're they're easier to find. You typically find them in bulk because it's from somebody who likes, you know, a collection of books or a series that was on TV, like a Star Trek or James Bond, or what is it? Any of those sci-fi series, or books, Murder, She Wrote, Agatha Christie, you know, all those things, books like that. Those, you know, can be found in bulk. Typically, you could find like 5 or 6 or 10 books sometimes, and it's like, oh, okay, great. But decor is something I have an eye for. And so even with the decor, I've started to be very picky and not just pick up something because I think it's cute. I'm picking up things that are like extra unique, and that are, that kind of catch my eye. And, you know, once I get there, I'm like, oh yeah, this is a good color, this is a good style, or this is, you know, super unique. So I'm already fine tuning my picks of what I actually purchase to put on my eBay website. But the main thing today that I really had thought about was taking my listings off of auto list. So it's important to me to find out and figure out what's working and what's not working, and nip it in the bud as quick as possible. So there you go. Hope this helps you. Toodles. Bye-bye. Oh, look who's awake. Look who's awake. Look at my baby. Oh. This is my shopping partner. She's typically on my back in her little backpack. Oh, Bella. Okay, so if you guys see me out there, say hi to us, okay?